Hello again. After the parties and the weekends, we're back to a more sedate rhythm here, but wine tasting and enjoying doesn't really have to stop. So today we are enjoying a nice bottle of Bordeaux. I mean, once in a while, it's really just great to go back to the classics, even if it's not like a Grand Vin. So this is a Bordeaux from 2009, an amazing vintage, as people know. But it is like a quality mid-range Bordeaux from 2009. Back during those years, I figured this is a good opportunity to also be able to buy some good quality mid-range wines, at a reasonable price from a vintage that's supposed to be amazing. So now, a few years later, we can start enjoying them. We had the L'Arrivée au Brion not too long ago. This is the Chateau Tertre. So it's a Margaux in the Médoc, so left bank again. And suppose, the Médoc is supposed to be more Cabernet Sauvignon, and it kind of is, but this is a bit of an oddity because it's only about 40% Cabernet, 30% Merlot, 20% Cabernet Franc, and then this is all rounded, and then the rest between 5 and 10% Petit Verdot. And that's sort of it's in one vineyard, one block, probably the single biggest sort of contiguous block of vines in the Médoc and maybe in the whole left bank. So it's been like this since it was classified in 1855. So just very stable property in terms of its geographic boundaries. The name comes from, it's a little bit of a hill. I mean, it's kind of funny because it's about 100 feet. So it's not much of a hill, but it's a little bit of an elevation, gives it just a little bit more drainage. It just sits behind a bit of a some woods, so a little bit of a different climate. All these things matter, but then again, they don't matter if you can't make a good wine. It's hand harvested. It belonged up until a year ago to the same family who owned Chateau, which is right next door. But I think it's been sold again like last year. Some of these properties go through cycle, and then you have to watch the investment and the philosophy of the new owners. But these guys, the previous owners, had really put a lot of effort and thought into it, brought in a terrific winemaker who started looking at biodynamic farming, started looking at using concrete eggs for some portion of the harvest to preserve the sort of the purity and the minerality of the wine as you mix it all back together. So this property profited from a lot of that. Anyway, if we look at the wine itself, the color is really, to me, it's perfect, like a perfect sort of mature, ready to go Bordeaux, very dark, very deep, no bricking, but just maybe a beginning of such, and kind of thick, and you really want to dig into it. On the nose, it still has a little bit of fruit, but it's not overly fruity. I mean, some of these vintages at the time were really very rich. This one eschews that a little bit, so it's just a beautiful, balanced, mix of fruit, some alcohol, a little bit, and some tertiary notes, but they're more in a little bit of spice, a little bit of sort of anise or licorice, but all very, very nicely harmonized. And this is, again, typical good Bordeaux. The tannins are very soft, and I think this is the key for that vintage, because that vintage needed really a lot of time to evolve. The tannins are very soft. You got that dark, deep, semi-bitter chocolate taste on the end. And the mouth is just sort of coated gently and in a really pleasant, a little bit of bitterness on the finish. But I think that developed over the last 24 hours, because this is when we started really enjoying the bottle. There wasn't a lot of it left, so it was really starting to probably, you know, go too far. But just remembering from yesterday, it was just perfect, and I had to fight to keep some of it to make a video today. Anyway, great quality, great price point, great vintage. This is really something that goes in the absolute enjoy without guilt category. Cheers, and see you soon.